Ayubowan, Vanakkam. I'm Vayoni Dimel. This is Boston Lanka News, bringing you news, views and entertainment from Boston and USA. Supreme Court to decide. Is General Fonseca's arrest illegal? No one was above the law, President Rajapaksa says. JVP's future, unless they contest under elephant symbol. Better warning system for tsunami. Real-time data. Sounds of Sri Lankan traditional drums. At Harvard. Sri Lanka's Supreme Court will be hearing a petition challenging the arrest of defeated presidential candidate Sarath Fonseca filed by his wife Anoma Fonseca on February 23rd. General Fonseca's wife requested the High Court of the land to rule that general's arrest illegal. The court granted leave to proceed with the case because it appeared, on the face of it, there had been a breach of fundamental rights of General Fonseca, a court official said. President Mahinda Rajapaksa has promised due process will be followed in dealing with General Fonseca. President's website quoted him saying that no one was above the law and that Fonseca's candidacy in the January 26 presidential polls had nothing to do with his arrest. JVP leader Somowansa Amarasinghe strongly ruled out that JVP will contest under the elephant symbol in the upcoming parliamentary elections. The UNP will contest under their party symbol, elephant, and wanted other coalition partners to join them. Political observers doubt that the JVP could get even 2 or 3 seats in the next parliament session if they do not contest with the UNP. Even the worst critics of JVP agree that not having many JVP members in the parliament would create a major political vacuum given the manner the JVP had been fighting corruption, policy failures and mismanagement in the House. Sri Lankans never forget the morning of December 26, 2004. On that day, a magnitude 9.3 earthquake off the coast of Indonesia's Sumatra Island caused a massive tsunami that spread and struck coastlines across the Indian Ocean. All loss of life from the December 2004 tsunami, the death toll would have been drastically reduced if an early warning system had been in place to alert communities to evacuate the coastal areas and move inland. Today, Indian Ocean countries are significantly better prepared to issue early warnings in the event of another destructive tsunami than they were 6 years ago. Critical detection and communication systems are in place to provide data in real time. MIT in Cambridge, Massachusetts is leading in these efforts. Welcome to Boston Lanka, Conversation of the Week. To discuss where we are heading as a country, we have Dr. Trishantha Nanayakkara joining us from London, Ms. Rue Freeman from Philadelphia, and Mr. Kanishka Balasurya from Washington, D.C. Welcome. A few weeks ago, we had the presidential election in the whole country, which was a major achievement. President Rajapaksa received a clear mandate, and soon after, General Sarath Fonseca, his main opponent, was arrested. Now, where our country is heading? Dr. Nanayakkara?
About the country's future, first, to have hopes of a future, people should feel free and people should feel secure. And if they are scared to talk, and there are so many people now silent, but they are disgusted about things, how the state of affairs in the country. And I don't think these people are in a good mentality. I can talk now freely because I'm in a free country. I'm away from Sri Lanka. But if I imagine that my freedom of expression about this was suppressed by some means, I would have gone very depressed and then my productivity goes down.
Ms. Rufiman?
I know that the Sri Lankan government says that the general was conspiring with opposition politicians while serving as a senior army officer. And I think that in this case, war heroes are also citizens and are not above the law. If there has been an infringement, then the law must take its course, and it would be foolhardy for a government which fought a war to its end in order to secure peace to now let anarchy loose on the streets on the basis of the angst of this one man. I think the only caution is that the process must be transparent so people know that justice is being served.
Mr. Balasuriya.
No one should be above the law in Sri Lanka. Therefore, if the general is guilty of violating any law, he should definitely be charged and punished under law. However, the timing and the manner in which he was arrested and the manner in which he is being held right now are such that it smacks of political intimidation. If he had in fact violated the Military Act by being in communication with opposition politicians while in uniform, as he is being accused, the government could have called him on that at that time when he was still in uniform. Similarly, if he had harbored deserters or engaged in corrupt procurement practices, he should have been interdicted long time ago. But the fact that the government overlooked these transgressions during that time but decided to bring them out once he challenged them politically definitely looks like political intimidation to me. Therefore, whether he is guilty or not, the fact that the government decided to resort to such tactics to hold on to power should worry all Sri Lankans.
Thank you very much. That's the Boston Lanka Conversation of the Week. Boston Lanka expects to share the comments we receive from our viewers time to time, and in this edition, we share the comments emailed to us by Dr. Mudita D. Senaratyapa, Assistant Scientist at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, USA. Dr. Senaratyapa shared his views about the topic we had in our last edition, whether the democracy in Sri Lanka non-existent, as opposition politicians say. Dr. Senaratyapa writes, I disagree, but there is a disturbing trend that it might come to that. Executive Presidency, State of Emergency and PTA, Prevention of Terrorism Act, give government undue advantage. It is very difficult to determine the reasons for state of emergency and PTA as the government officials themselves are saying terrorism is over. Democracy of our country is disturbed by the current situation. If we don't take the right path at this moment, we might get to a point where it does not exist. We invite your comments for our next edition. General Sarath Fonseca said before his arrest on February 8th, I will give evidence in international inquiry against those who gave illegal orders. Please send your comments to contact@bostonlanka.com. Sri Lankan traditional drumming was heard recently at the prestigious Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Sri Lankan Student Association at Harvard University organized a Sri Lankan cultural night to showcase the Sri Lankan traditional dance and drumming. New England Lanka Academy students in Boston performed at the event under the guidance of Dr. Arjuna Balasuriya, Executive Director of the New England Lanka Academy in Boston. That concludes our news edition this week. We meet you next week with another news edition of news, views and entertainment from Boston and USA. Till then, goodbye.